We're doing another case study video, and today we're going to be breaking down the results that we were able to generate for this HVAC company in just 3 months, and how we were able to turn $9,000 of ad spend into $47,000 of booked jobs. We're going to break down exactly what this company was doing before us, the systems that we put in place, and exactly why and how they work. If you guys have an HVAC or plumbing business, make sure to watch this entire video because you guys can definitely learn something and implement it into your own business. So when we first started working with this company, they already had an agency that was running Meta ads for them. And that was one of their biggest problems, because when you own an HVAC company, Meta is not the best source of leads. You might get a ton of leads, but honestly, they're not high quality, and most importantly, they're not high intent. When you run ads on Meta, your job is to convince people to want the service that you're selling. And you may get a couple of jobs, but if you want consistent, scalable leads, that's not the place you need to be. So obviously, going into it, they had a pretty big traffic problem. And if you guys have watched a couple of these videos by now, you'd understand that every company faces two major problems when they want to scale, and that's not having enough leads and not closing enough leads. And that's exactly what was happening with them. They weren't getting enough high quality leads, and since those leads were not quality, they weren't closing enough. Now, when we started working with them, we had two main solutions. Now, the main thing with HVAC is when people want the jobs, they want the jobs, right? They're going to go on Google, they're going to search for it. It might be an emergency, and they're going to need it right away. So if you're not showing up in front of them on Google, your competitors are always going to get that job. Now, especially with HVAC and plumbing, Google LSA is going to be your best friend. When someone has an emergency repair they need done, that's exactly where you're going to show up. And the thing is, when these people are searching for your service, they're going to be high intent. So that's exactly what we did for them. We set them up with Google LSA, and we set them up with Google ads, right? Because the thing is, you're only going to get so many leads with Google LSA, because the thing with Google LSA is there's a ceiling on the amount of leads that you will get generally per month. So it's always good to have your second source of leads. Again, guys, using Google LSA and Google ads, we make sure that your company shows up right when someone needs your service. When someone needs emergency HVAC repair and they search it up, that's exactly where you show up, and that's exactly how you get the job. Now, like I said, when these people are searching you up, they're in need of emergency service. So if you're not replying instantly, someone else is going to get that job, right? Because if someone's an emergency, they're not just going to call one place. They're going to call another place. They're going to call 4 or 5 places until someone picks up, right? So by having these systems in place, we make sure that we follow up faster than anyone else. The second someone is interested in your service, we are there to follow up with them. Now, with Google LSA, a lot of times it's going to be a phone call. And if you do miss that phone call, we have automated text to respond back to make sure that they're still on the hook. However, if it's through Google ads, we build out. Now, for Google ads, we do build out entire sales funnels with landing pages where they can book a quote, call you, and we make sure to have automated text, SMS reminders to increase call show up rates and to make sure that you ultimately get on that phone call with the customer. Again, even if they don't book a call, we have automated texts that go on your behalf to make sure that the lead is always followed up with. We also set up referral automations that are constantly working to get you jobs, review automations that make sure you rank higher than your competitors, and we even have long-term nurture and follow-up campaigns for those leads that may not want the job right away. These automations are a big net that make sure no lead slips by and that we catch every possible job. Guys, if you don't have automated systems in place in your business, you're not going to be scaling past 6 figures or even more than that. At some point, it's impossible to be able to do this all by yourself. If you want to build a proper business, and I mean something that you can scale to 7, 8 figures, you need systems in place. And the thing is, you can pay for all the leads that you want, but if you're not closing a high percentage of them, only limiting your ROI. So again, we came into this business, we implemented Google LSA, we put in Google ads, and we put in all these systems in place that made sure every single lead was dealt with. Now, not only did this bring up their close rate by a ton, but since we had higher quality leads, it was obviously way easier to close the leads in the first place. Now, my favorite part, these are just some of the jobs that we were able to get them in these 3 months with Google LSA, Google ads, and even some of the referral automations that we had in place. I think we got them about like 4 or 5 jobs through that, which was actually pretty good. And literally, it's just free jobs, right? So like, why not? So these are some of the screenshots that we got from their dashboard. And again, guys, this was just within 3 months of implementing these systems. And if you run an HVAC or plumbing company that's doing 60K plus a month and you're interested on what we can do for your business, we have a link in bio. If you guys want to click it, book a call, and we'll go over exactly how we'd be able to scale your business. If not, guys, as always, I hope you were able to take something away for your own business and you were able to implement or learn something. If you did, make sure to like or subscribe. And if you guys want to see any other videos, make sure to comment down below.